Welcome to ADHD Friendly. I'm Patty, and everything that I do with ADHD Friendly is designed to support myself, and I share it with you so that it supports you, hopefully, to spend less time struggling and more time thriving. If you're looking for, I have lots of free resources as well as things that you could opt, if you decide to purchase. I have a membership on there as well. Check it out, ADHD-Friendly.com, if you're looking for more support to help you go from struggling to thriving with your ADHD brain wiring. All right, this is episode 155.
Woo-hoo.
55. All right, I know, it's like, sure, somehow it feels like sometimes I'm like 155 and I'm like, should I be in the twos already? Like sometimes it just, I don't know why, my brain plays this weird trick with numbers. So I'm going to start, as I always do, with a celebration, at a grocery celebration. I know. And then I've got a tip about your dresser. Not like a person you hire to dress you, like the actual physical. If you have that, you're probably not listening to my podcast. This is not like my simple everyday little hacks and tips probably aren't something that you need if you've got somebody that is coming in and coordinating your wardrobe and maybe like running your errands like a personal full-time assistant or something.
Yeah,
that would be a way to really thrive with ADHD. So no, I've got a tip for
your dresser,
what might work with ADHD and a dresser. And then our main topic for this week is I'm just going to share some tips to get your digital life organized. So digital organization is our focus today. And then as always, I'll share what I purchased this week and a book for the week. I just love that I'm reading enough that I can share a book every week. I've actually got like a few books ahead that
love that.
And I'm trying really hard to, as I'm reading more, really just highlight the ones that, not just like, okay, I read this, check the box. Like if I didn't love it, or at least like enjoy it, I don't want to recommend it. So yeah. But also I can steer you clear maybe of avoiding a book that might be popular, but
you weren't a fan of.
So I'll just share that. But I got a good one today. So that's at the end. But as always, let's start off with my celebration for this episode. And that is that I have been having a lot of resistance to grocery shopping.
Okay.
Don't like it. Don't like the meal planning. Don't like the actual active going and walking around a busy grocery store and making all those decisions and checking out and bringing all. So
parking lots.
Yeah, all of it. And it was hot, right? So it was, the thought of doing that in the heat, it's finally cooling off. I got a sweater on. I am in my happy place. It is finally broken through. I always think of that song, I Made It Through the Rain. I told you, I said this before. I always sing that song, I made it through the heat, because it was just unbearable. And so the thought of going and grocery shopping in heat is like pile on the things I hate. And it just created a lot of resistance. So I ordered my groceries from Sam's Club.
Ooh, right.
And what I love about I have a Plus membership. Yes. So what I'm sharing is based on a Plus membership. They deliver for free.
Ooh, that's nice.
You have to order $50. That changed. It used to be free, period, but $50. And this is fresh food. This is,
produce,
right? They'll deliver, you can schedule it. So I scheduled it for I ordered it one day. I think you could pay more if you order it like afternoon that day to get it like that day. I didn't really care. So I ordered it for the next day to come between 9 and 11 in the morning. Perfect. Because I really try to think like, when are the dogs going to be outside? When am I working with clients that I could grab, because it was still warm. So I wanted to be able to get the food inside. I could request to have it dropped, or do I want to interact and talk to the person?
Drop it off.
So I was like, no, just leave it at the door.
Let me know when it's arrived.
So free delivery if you order $50 or more. Here's what I love about Sam's compared to Costco. You guys know I love Costco, but Sam's does not mark up the price. It's the exact same price that you would get in the store. And that's a battle I always have in my mind when I think about, and I haven't ordered from Costco since the pandemic.
Sure.
Because number one, they charge more when you have it delivered. It's like an online price versus an in-store price.
Yeah, you're right.
And they have a delivery fee, and then you have to tip the person. So it ends up being a pretty indulgent kind of expense, as opposed to an affordable, time-saving, gas-saving expense. So I realized you do have to tip the delivery person. You can do it online, so you don't have to interact with them.
Give it to them.
They have, low end, high end, and recommended. The recommended was 15%, and I thought that felt very fair. So I went with what they recommended, and I felt fine about that.
Did they mess up your order?
No, it came perfectly, and it was here by 9:11 in the morning. So I said between 9 and 11, and it came like at 9:11. Like 9:11, I got the email, they were done. So they got here probably at like 9, a little after, maybe like 9:09, 9:10, dropped it, took a picture, sent me done. So it was very, very sparkly. And I just want to celebrate how rewarding that felt to just order online and have it delivered and be done without me having to get in the car, drive to the store, pick the things. And it felt so good because I didn't pay more for the things.
So true.
So I was like, what the only downside was the extra money for the tip. But honestly, Sam's is not that close to me. The amount of money I would have spent on gas, driving back and forth, and my time, well worth the tip.
15%.
Well worth the tip. So I'm like, okay, now I feel like I'm going to do that more and more often. Cause I also ordered like prepared meals that I just like to go and cook. And
put them in the
so good. Yep. And I told you, like Sam's has like a variety of things, and they'll show you all the ones that are available at the store that is that they assign to you based on your address. That's the closest to deliver to you. So you'll see what they actively have. And my other celebration is I got on sale, because you also get to use any coupons that are available on sale at not like store, but Sam's coupons. And their Hershey's chocolate box, 30 full-size candy bars was on sale. So I got 30 full-size candy bars for I think like $24.
That's good.
For candy poker, because every Halloween we play candy poker. So I got it while it's on sale, and I got it delivered to the house.
One less thing to think about.
I know. And I put them away because I know me. If I break the seal and open it,
oh yeah,
they won't make it. Gone. They will not make it for Halloween. So I put them away. Out of sight, out of mind really works for me. In this instance, this is where I use it to my advantage. Usually out of sight, out of mind, I get in trouble, but this is a good thing, out of sight, out of mind. And I've told the kids that I bought it so they remind me, because I will forget. Yeah, I will forget and buy it again. That's my brain. So that's my celebration. Okay, on to what I purchased this week. I purchased a number of things like office supply kind of things that I needed. I did my medicine cabinet update, which that's next week's episode. I'm gonna share how to go about doing a little tune-up to your medicine cabinet. So I'm just sharing that that's next week's topic. And so I did buy what I needed. Again, Sam's Club in the order. So I purchased things like that I needed because I was either out of them or they expired. But the two things I purchased that were total wants, that's what I'm going to hold myself accountable for. Number one, I bought, you probably saw it when you came in today, I bought a Halloween wreath for the front door. Did you see it?
It's ready for fall. I
leaned into fall. I did. I got all my Halloween decorations and fall decorations out this past weekend because I saw the forecast was going to change. It hadn't changed yet, but I saw it was changing. And I swapped all of my clothes out. So I even made a list of what I need to buy and let go of things that I'm like, I have not worn this.
Years, right?
It needs to go. And so I feel really good about that. But so I rewarded myself by ordering a wreath. I got it from Sam's.
I love it.
It's super cute. So I took a picture of the one online.
So fun.
It's a little spooky. I don't usually do spooky decorations. I got this more for the kids, but I have to say, I am shocked that I'm enjoying it.
It's really fun.
It's motion detecting. The lights will only come on when you move in front of it. So it saves the battery, but it's super fun and I love it. It was only $34.
You had to.
And I have to say, I went to Hobby Lobby with my daughter looking for a fall wreath. $93. Even though they're like 50% off, I'm like, and it was like a tiny little, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I've been looking for a Halloween wreath for literally years. And I was like, I'm just gonna get it as my reward for myself. And then the other thing I purchased was Christmas related. I'm super excited about this too. These are like my two little like almost like rewards for not spending a lot of money over the previous weeks. I got peanuts. You guys know I love Snoopy, Charlie Brown, love the whole Peanuts gang, all of them. Not a bad one in the bunch. I got little yard stakes that light up. That I got 5 of them. They're all like figure skating, and so like you put them, where it looks like they're like following each other in like a little skating chain. I'm hoping they're as cute as they look in the picture. So yeah, I'm excited. That gets me excited about getting out like Christmas decorations. Not yet, but when I do. So I wanted to get it because I also knew if I wait, they will sell out, and because they're so stinking cute. But I was tempted to be like, okay, well, you just got the wreath, and I was like, no, I actually think my future self will regret, because typically that kind of thing, especially peanuts, sells out and then I don't get it, and I don't have an outside like really cute peanuts decoration.
Not for Christmas time.
No, well, I did, but it didn't make it through the move. And I needed a new like light up, like sparkly kind of thing. So yeah, so those are the two things I purchased. Okay, on to my tip for this week. And this is This is my hot take. This is kind of a radical suggestion.
Okay.
If this rubs you the wrong way and you're like, what the heck is she talking about? Feel free to post. I understand what I am sharing doesn't work for everybody, but listen, hear me out on this suggestion. This is my tip. Say goodbye to your dresser. Get rid of it.
See ya.
Here's my thought on this. If it's possible, this is not possible for everybody.
Right.
My reason is dressers are flat surfaces.
Yes.
Flat surfaces do typically not work for us. They are magnets of collecting things.
Yeah.
They end up piled with clothes, piled with papers, piled with gadgets, piled with books, piled with stuff. They visually drain us because clothes are sticking out because we can't see into the drawers.
Right.
So they're constantly halfway open, or they don't close all the way because we shove so much stuff in them that things are sticking out. They are eyesores that drain us visually. And they create a lot of resistance and frustration because we can't get into it to find the things we need. So like when I got rid of my dresser about at least 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that now.
Yeah.
And it was because I realized I had some clothes in my closet. I had clothes in my dresser. The clothes in my dresser were like my socks, t-shirts, underwear, kind of things. The clothes in my closet were more, like things. Yep. And so I'm like, why am I coming out of the shower and I'm having to go over here to get socks and underwear? I'm having to go in the closet. And I thought it just made sense to figure out how to get everything in the closet.
Spot. Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I was like, when I realized I really just have to kind of troubleshoot this organizational system so that I can move the things in my dresser into my closet.
So how did you get like a closet organized?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I'm an alpha girl. So if you shop at the Container Store, but they do have cheaper closet solutions. And they even have, like, if you just think about I started originally with just the plastic bins, just the, the tower of plastic bins,
like
one for socks, label it, one for underwear, label it, one for, t-shirts, label it. Exactly.
I'm a layers girl. So
exactly. But make it easy for yourself, but label so that you honor the system. But getting rid of those flat surfaces is a game changer. I just remember how much first of all, it created a ton of space in my room not to have the dresser taking it up.
That's a big thing of furniture.
Next, there was nowhere to put that crap. So it had to find homes. Third, it made getting dressed so much easier because everything is in one spot. So I wasn't going back and forth between two different areas to get dressed. Everything was in the closet. I would just go to the closet and get what I needed. And everything had a home. So I knew where it went. It was labeled. That's where it went. It's what I do in my home here. It has been a system that was a positive game changer for me. So that's my tip, to say goodbye to dressers. This came up with a couple of clients in the last few weeks. And I thought, I'm going to just share this tip. Again, if you have like tiny or no closet space, this isn't going to work for you. I get that. So let go of what doesn't work for you. Hold on to what does. And if it's just maybe exploring, maybe I'll just, invest in, or maybe I have a couple of those plastic bins I can repurpose, or, whatever. Keep it simple and easy to experiment and see what would work better for you. But if your dresser is a holding space for clutter, it might be just plant a little seed, explore what other options are there to make this work better for me, if that's not working. Okay. A quick little reminder. Skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to hear it. This is my little commercial, if you will, for ADHD Friendly, my online membership platform. Everything in ADHD Friendly is designed to be ADHD friendly. It's a monthly membership community where you pay a membership fee each month. You can quit anytime. There is no minimum requirement. You can sign up for 1 month and do a deep dive, binge all the tools, all of the courses, all of the resources, and then pull back out, quit, and you're done. Do what works for you. My hope is that you'll find things that really do support your brain to move and shift from struggling to thriving, so that you want to hang out and continue to connect with the resources and live events that I offer. But this month is October, and in October I have the webinar for this month is focused on boredom with ADHD and how to turn the kryptonite of boredom into a strategy we can use to support ourselves more easily. And then we're doing some live sessions as well on organizing recipes, tackling laundry, organizing physical pictures, and then we end the month with a monthly planning session where I support you to stretch your brain and your time horizon to plan the month ahead. So we've been planning the month of November at the end of October.
Ooh, and that's a good one. It's a
That's
busy month.
It's always, and that's always a really helpful way, especially with the holidays coming up, to really kind of pin down your time and get a better sense of how to manage it. So ADHDfriendly.com, check it out if you're interested in joining me in shifting from struggling to thriving more than you are on your own. All right, on to this episode's main topic, and that is just going to share some digital organizing tips. We've talked a lot about how to organize our physical things. We've talked a little bit in the past about digital organization. This is an area that can be really overwhelming. There's just so much going on in our digital life right now, and it's not getting any better, guys. It's getting more. So tech can make our lives easier. All the digital tools we have can create some ease, but organizing your digital files, your pictures, all the emails that come into your inbox, it creates a huge challenge with ADHD brain wiring. So if you think about your physical mail, you bring it in and it can end up creating piles, but you can see those piles and you can literally physically sort and manage them. If you go to sort your emails, it's requiring a lot of executive functions around, especially like working memory, planning, prioritizing, staying focused on it, starting that task, like all of those things that we really struggle with, to go in and make decisions about all of them. We'll see, oh, I've got, 100 unread, or whatever you have unread, no judgment, but it just creates a lot of resistance. So I have a quick list of tasks that you could explore decluttering in your digital world. So the first is maybe just unsubscribe to everything that you don't read. If you're getting repeated emails and you're like,
how did they even get my email?
Oh, I'm getting signed up for it because you got a coupon, right? They get you with the coupon, and then you just start getting all this stuff in your, you just don't have an interest or time to read. You're like, oh my gosh, if I had more time, I would love to read this, but right now I don't. So let it go, unsubscribe. You can always resubscribe. It's not like they're going to stop you from resubscribing, right?
You're not gonna get in trouble.
Unsubscribe. The next is to clear out your email inbox. So maybe you have a block of time, depending on how much is in there, and you just kind of go through and
see
go through
what's going on.
That was not something that I could just sit down and do. These tips I'm sharing with that lens of ADHD friendliness. Allow yourself to do the amount that works for you, not the perfect. I'm going to inbox 0. If that's unattainable right now, maybe you're going to inbox 4,490 instead of 4,500. Right. 10 is make an impact. Make a list of where you started so you can see the progress. Maybe you uninstall any apps that you're not using. So if your digital home screen on your phone or your computer is just cluttered with stuff that you're like, why? I don't even remember why I downloaded that. Or I remember I thought you're even paying for it, and you can just,
you don't even know,
cancel. Right. You're not using it all. Clean up your computer desktop. So if your desktop is cluttered, I know for me, like I have, like yesterday, I had to restart my computer, and part of me it reminded me of that whole tosser thing where I was like, I'm just tossing it, but it wasn't working. There was like I could tell if I tried to take a screenshot of something, if it's not working, it means I need to restart my computer.
Sure.
If there's a reason for this, I almost don't want to know. So don't post. I don't want to know if there's like some kind of underlying nefarious reason that it's not working. But I was like, okay, I have to turn it off. And instead of getting kind of like, right. So I was like, I'm not even gonna look at the screens that are open because I have so many tabs, and that might be why it's glitching. I have so many, I've reached the maximum amount of memory it can even function with. And so I was just like, oh. Start. And I just held down the button until I heard that.
You're like, okay. Well,
so, or maybe you delete the contents of your download folder. I don't know if different people's computers work different ways. Your face looks like mine.
Because I'm thinking about how many downloads.
No, can't happen. That would never work for me. But I have to say, when I'm a Google Workspace user, I wish there was a way, maybe there is a way and you guys know what it is. Post in the comments. 155 is this episode. If there's an easy way to do this. Every time I go to print something from my online Google Workspace, it will download it before it lets me print it. I'm like, I do not need a million downloads, because some things I reprint multiple times.
Yes, and I'm not going to go back in and delete the download.
No. But I wish it would download to a different folder automatically, so I could just delete that download folder. Because some things I download, I need them to be in that download folder because that's where I go find them.
Mental, all that.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe your download folder is just full of just things that you don't need. So you can delete the contents of it, almost like the cookies that are clogging up kind of thing. Yeah.
Clean cookies.
Yes. On your smartphone, maybe just turning off non-essential notifications. I don't know about you, like notifications, I got this one covered. I have everything turned off. If
Same.
anything, my family's like, Mom, or my husband's like, Hey, you never, and I'm like, I know, because I can't stand
Getting all of those
I can't. I do wear a smartwatch, not all day, but until
work day.
until like, exactly, then my work day, then I do take it
Yeah.
off. But so at least during the day, if somebody texts me, I
No.
get a little like vibration where I know that, and my brain does tend to hold on to that information. Like I know
Yeah.
it's there. So if I'm meeting with a client, it doesn't distract me. I don't need to go look at it, but I know it's there.
Done, you'll be like,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm like, okay,
check.
I know I felt a vibration. Somehow my brain does hold on to that, which is helpful, but it doesn't help me to have it going on all the time. Because I do
Constantly.
find, especially outside of work, then I have this like for some reason, client sessions hold me really strongly.
Yes.
If I'm just having a conversation and I am looking at it, like I will want to go and see what's happening. So I find it very distracting. So if your phone is making noises all the time, if it's pulling your focus, if it's constantly, I've been around people like on an airplane and I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Silence your phone.
I always have mine
It's
on
beeping
silence
all the
because
time.
I just don't. I keep it on silent. I was like, I'll get to you when I get to you.
Oh, it rings. It's like a full on. I'm like,
That almost gives me a panic attack.
yeah, it's like jarring. Yes. So yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe turn off non-essential notifications. We don't need them.
Need it.
I wrote down. I love my notes. I plan this. So we're recording this a day later than we normally do. And so I'm even more disconnected than I normally am. I'm laughing because I wrote a note. I feel overwhelmed just reading this list because a lot of these things I can't do. Right. So I could never delete the contents of my downloads folder. I forgot I wrote that. So again, always take what works for you, leave the rest behind. These were tips I found, again, not in an ADHD specific resource online. It was just kind of like things that I found were tips generally. Deep breath, let go of what does not work for you. So I found lots of tips like this, but precious few details about how to do it. So even like when you think about like delete the contents of your download folder, like what?
How would you?
Exactly? Oh my God, I think I'd need to block a day. I'd probably need some anti-anxiety medication or maybe
support,
some kind of a lifeline of, who do I call when I deleted the thing I didn't mean to? Is there like some kind of like a depository or repository that it holds them for 30 days, it doesn't really disappear or something? Yeah, I need to get that back. It would just
give me too much
create a lot of stress. So I found a few tips. This was from the postworkspaces.com, the postworkspaces.com. I think they're some kind of online workspace. I really don't know. I'm not recommending them. I'm just saying that I want to give them credit. This is where I found some tips. So they say to organize your desktop, they had steps. So that's why I know, right? Oh, don't just do this. This is how you can do this. Yeah. So they said, number one, delete the apps you don't use. So just go through it. If you don't use these apps and they're not serving you, delete them. Number two, update your wallpaper with an image that's calm or that makes you happy to look at.
I do like that.
Yeah. Number three, move any files on your desktop into appropriate folders. Okay. So now if you got a bunch of files, and I've seen this all over, yeah. I have people sometimes share their screen. I get overwhelmed with the screen. Yeah. I can't do the individual files all over the screen. I can have 50 open tabs. That doesn't overwhelm me. Right. Everybody has to do what works for them. But if it's too much and you're finding it really fatiguing to find what you're looking for, maybe just creating some folders, and they say update the names so that they're working for you. So if you name it something and you realize every time you go to find it, the name isn't actually what you're thinking of when you're looking for it, rename the folder so it works for you. And then as you get into the habit of doing this, they say delete unused folders and files so that you're not just holding on to them because there's a folder you can put it in. Do you need that? Or can you just delete it? Like if you don't need it anymore. Okay. And then for your email inbox, they recommended deleting old emails you don't need. I have to say, I have gone through and I'll search like Kohl's or something where if I'm getting like a bunch of emails, I'll just go through and then I'll kind of select all and delete them all at one time instead of just kind of going through and fatiguing.
Single box.
They say use folders and tags to rearrange their order. And so like if you have like folders on the left, rearrange them if you're like, okay, I use this folder all the time. I need that at the top. Unsubscribe to things that you don't find value in. So if you're getting newsletters, if you sign up for my newsletter, doesn't come out very much. So I'm not clogging your inbox. I always tell people like, don't worry about that. I'm not a big, like constantly sending out a
Yeah.
daily. I'm lucky if I get one once a month. That was my goal this year. I've not been hitting it. I did it for like 6 months. I always fall off in the summer. I digress. But if you're not getting value from something, even if you signed up for it and it was like, oh, I really thought I'd like it. I think I have 2 newsletters that I read consistently and I look forward to. And so when I read that, I was like, I do need to let go of the ones I'm not reading.
Yeah.
Because I'm still getting them and I just don't have time or interest, or I tend to only keep the ones I'm reading. I get consistent value from them.
Yeah, sure.
And they said, learn your program. So for example, if it's, whatever you're using for your email, learn how to tag emails, how to search within your emails, that kind of thing. So learn the program you're using so you can use it more easily. So that's for that. So next they said to reduce your apps and programs on your phone and computer. This is some steps if you want to do that. So they said, if asking yourself, what do you actually use? So instead of kind of going through and make decisions, like kind of like thinking through like, okay, what are the apps I'm using every day without even looking at it?
Yeah.
So that you're like, oh, well, I always use, like I use my timer app a lot. I use my photos, albums a lot, thinking about like, what are you really using? And then go through and decide what's necessary or needed. Like, what are the ones like, okay, I don't use this often. Like, I might have like an airline app. I don't use a lot, but I do need the app when I travel. So then I just put it into a travel folder. So I don't have to look at, individual ones.
Right.
And then what is or isn't distracting you? So do you have social media apps on your phone? Are they serving you on your phone? Maybe getting them off your device so that, I like to just kind of go online and look at it, but not look at it for my profile. Honestly, I haven't even done that in a while. So here are some questions that I'm including to maybe explore. Do I use it regularly? Does it offer me any value? Is the price worth it? So if you're paying for it, is it worth the price? I've had a number of apps just this fall increase in price.
Yes.
My QuickBooks monthly price went up.
I think
my
Spotify,
Apple One subscription went up. I think my Hulu
went up, and then
yeah,
my Spotify also went up too.
Yeah, see, but I think all of the, I'm like, it feels like once one does it, it's like they're testing the waters, and then everybody else is like, oh, well, they're charging that, I'm going to charge that too. So is it still worth it? I did really look at, because like my QuickBooks went up by like $5, and when I always multiply it out by what does that look like over the course of a year, and I was like, dang, I don't like that.
No,
it's just thrilled about it.
Good that they come up now.
Exactly. And then finally, does this distract me or add value?
Ooh.
So when I think of it in terms of like social media, that was definitely distracting me and not adding value, because I felt worse after I looked at it than I did before I looked at it. So I really am mostly off social media. With a rare, like my cousin told me that they had posted something, so I had to get the password from you, because I'm like, I almost like am so removed from it, because this lovely Becca does my posting for me, that I'm like, and it's funny because then she wrote me a letter and she was like, oh, did you see that? And I'm like, oh no, I went in the one time to see like what you shared. I'm not like, don't put something there if you want me to see it, because I'm not going to see it. Okay, so now for your digital pictures.
Yes.
Go through your pictures and curate them. So they recommended creating albums and identifying pictures that you love, right? So I always think of like the favorites, loving them as like anything that I don't want to throw away, or like I want to like find that more easily because I favorited it. But I didn't think of it in terms of, if you love it enough to keep it, do you want to create an album with it, whether it's a digital album or a physical one, or do you want to print it so that you have a way to enjoy it? Or like creating albums, I like them because then I can go in, like I have like a holiday decorations album. Like when I set up my Halloween decorations, I could pull up and see, what did I do last year? So I'm not having to stretch my brain and remember and try to recreate the wheel. I can go back and remember I took a picture because I really liked it. So I just want to repeat what I did. So I don't have to try to figure it out again. And then
goes by.
Exactly. Yeah. Those yearly things are really hard for our brains. And then finally, I found some recommendations on Forbes.com, the magazine and online financial focused one. And they said, these are their tips. Again, take what works for you, leave the rest behind. The first was declutter daily. So kind of like old emails, like just make it a daily practice. Just go in and delete a few every day. Create folders to manage your download. So if you're downloading images, create a specific, this one was the most sparkly for me of all of these. I have so many images. I have images that are work related for like slideshows I'm creating. Every time I do that, you have to tell me, does the thumbs up show up on the video?
I know the balloons or the confetti did, but I don't know.
It's so distracting. I have to figure out how to turn off that setting. Anyway, create folders for images and create folders for PDFs. That would be a game changer for me if I could choose download to the PDF. So then I know if it was a PDF, it's in that folder instead of searching all images, all docs, all PDFs are in this one huge folder. So I love that. And then they said, create a weekly time block to organize your digital files. Okay. This again really hit me because I'm like, okay, it's just like in real life, we need to organize our physical stuff. If you get caught up on emails, if you get caught up on, creating these systems, if you don't have a way to go back and continue connecting with them, it adds up again and it gets out of control again. So I love that idea. It feels simple, but at the same time, it feels kind of challenging to create structure around going in and so I'm playing with the idea of offering like a once a month, like digital organization body double time in the membership, because I'm already connecting to what I think that would give me. I think it'd be very valuable, but also with the awareness of I'm not going to want to do it. I just don't like it, but I could do it with the body doubling because it holds me accountable. Yeah. And then finally, they say archive old emails. So instead of keeping them all in your inbox, which I have to say I do, that I keep them all in there, take them all, so that I always thought inbox zero meant you don't have any unread emails. But apparently, maybe this is not an ADHD, like a neurotypical thing. Inbox zero often means there are no emails. I'm like,
at all. Yeah, right. At all.
How is that even possible? So I'm like, oh, that's interesting, because you can search if you archive them. It's not like they're gone. They're still there, but they're not cluttering up your inbox. And I was like, I only thought about trying to get rid of all the unread emails.
I should do that.
And then if there's another tip I haven't hit that helps you to organize digitally, would love to hear additional tips so that we can all learn from each other. This is episode 155. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Book of the week. Oh my gosh, I love this book. So it's called Libby Lost and Found. It is by Stephanie Booth. It literally is coming out on the 15th. I think that's even before this episode. This episode, I think, comes out on the 9th. I'm right. So it will be coming out in a few days. I got an advanced copy at my library. It was so fun to read. I highly recommend it. Put it on your list. If you get your books from the library, get on the wait list for it.
Yeah.
It's super fun. So here's the description. A world famous author is struggling with a horrible diagnosis, and she gets help from the unlikeliest of places, an 11-year-old super fan of her books. It's funny. It's sad. It's beautifully written. I love the character development. Really, really enjoyed it. So Libby Lost and Found, this week's book pick. Loved it.
The cover's cute.
And you'll be like in the know. You'll like be into it before it even, it becomes like the thing that everybody's talking about, because it's not even out yet. Yeah. And so I have my quote for the week from Libby Lost and Found. Yeah. This is such an ADHD related quote. She doesn't identify, but and you find out what her challenge is really early on. So I'm not spoiling anything, but I'm still not going to tell you exactly what it is. I'm just going to tell you some of the challenges before she gets clear on what it is that's going on for her. Do mimic a lot of ADHD type of challenges. So this is her quote. She says, Libby resents her past self, shirking such an enormous responsibility. Now present Libby has to work twice as hard to make up for it. I literally, when I got rid of that, I was like, what? What? So it's that whole idea of our past self making decisions that our future self has to pay the price for.
Yeah.
And so I just love that. And whenever we think about putting something off to the future, I always think, what will your future self wish that you had done? But then if we take the time to plan something, we can go, when we reach that point in time that we planned it, and say, okay, I want to honor my past self and do what I plan to do, because my past self put energy into making this plan. So we can make it work both ways. So that's from Libby Lost and Found. So just wanted to share that fun little quote and recommend that book if it interests you. Check it out. That's it for this episode. Until next time, tally ho.